Greetings, every peoples. This is your cult personality speaking ToonKritic's name, and tunes are the name of my game. You know, if you were to ask me about 5 years ago or so, that one of my all-time favorite cartoon characters would be this rainbow-maned pony that thinks she's awesome as she wants to be, and that her attitude and coolness can only be defined by a percentage, if you had told me that, I probably would have laughed at you. But little did I know that this character would end up shaping a lot of my life, and being there as a constant, helping me as the years went by. Rainbow Dash. Now, today marks the day in the show of the episode Pinkie Pride, and on this day, we found out this is Rainbow Dash's anniversary of coming to Ponyville. So a few people decided to take this up and talk about Rainbow Dash. Now, you're looking at a pretty big Rainbow Dash fan here. Now, what I decided to do is you'll see right here, there we go, you're going to see a lot of fan art that I asked people to make, and their art shall be featured right here. So, while I'm talking about Rainbow Dash, let's get into this good stuff, shall we? When I first started watching the show, Rainbow Dash was the first character I immediately took interest in. I think the first episode I saw was... God, I can barely even remember, but I'm pretty sure it was either Ghostbusters or Sonic Rainboom. I was immediately drawn in to Rainbow Dash as a character. I've always liked the cool characters. You know, the cool characters that have attitude, the ones that think they're awesome and all that. And it's hard for those characters to be played out not annoying. But sadly, Rainbow Dash, even though I liked her, her season one personality is definitely not one I was too fond of. But it took me a while, I guess, to kind of get used to her. And as the seasons have gone by, she's actually developed better as a character. Rainbow Dash, if it weren't for her in the show, I probably would have just skipped the show entirely. But I'm glad that I was actually able to get invested in her more. Why do I like Rainbow Dash? Well, the main reason being that it's like I'm looking in a mirror a little bit when I see her. I guess I'm going to delve into a little bit of personal thing with me. Through high school, I had an attitude very similar to Rainbow Dash. I had this sort of chip on my shoulder sort of attitude where I thought I was better than a lot of people, or I had this attitude where I had to strive to be the best. I was better than everyone else. I was cool. I was edgy. Well, I guess I am kind of edgy because of my OC, but I had this attitude that was confident and cocky, but that very quickly turned into arrogant and overconfident, and that got me into a lot of trouble. So it's funny that around season 1 of the show, when I finally bumped back into good old Rainbow Dash, I started to see, wow, this is what I used to be. And I guess as the years went by, the way that Rainbow Dash developed, I began to develop that sort of way too. And it's weird, because I don't think I've ever grown up with the character. And that's weird, because I'm not little anymore. I was like, 2011, that was like 5 years ago now. And it's weird, because the only thing I remember growing up with is Harry Potter. Harry Potter was a big influence in my life, and Rainbow Dash is a big influence on my later years. I guess the late end of my teenagehood going into adulthood. And you'd think that, like, oh, cartoon characters aren't really that important, they're just cartoons, they're just for kids. Well, if you look at it, if you look at these characters, if you look at Rainbow Dash, you can see how she's developed from being this, thinks her, God, I don't want to swear, but she thinks her stuff is like the greatest thing ever since sliced bread, thinks her stuff don't stink, thinks that, you know, she deserves all this fame and attention, and it took a lot to make her realize what she was doing. And that one particular episode that ended up kind of breaking her a bit kind of brought her down to earth and made her realize, like, okay, I gotta tone this down a little bit. I don't like the way they did it. People probably know that episode, but regardless, it's like I'm looking into a mirror when I look at Rainbow Dash. The way that she's grown up is how I've grown up too. In fact, Rainbow Dash is kind of what I want to be. I want to be awesome. I want to be confident with myself. I want to embrace what I have and run with it and not be afraid. Of course, running with that means you're running a little bit too fast and you go into that land, like that land all the way over there, to where you need to be knocked down a few pegs. But you're never really going to know where that glass ceiling is with your attitude or your personality unless you hit it. You're never going to know your limits unless you shoot for them. And that's the thing that I really admired about Rainbow Dash and what I want to strive to be. I want to find that glass ceiling and I want to break past it. That proverbial glass ceiling that everyone talks about. I want to push past that. One day. And it's going to be great. It's kind of also why I'm a Pegasus too, because flight. I know that sounds simple enough, but it's that feeling, I guess, of being able to fly free, not be caged up, just go as high as you want. And that's a really good thing, I think. Now, of course, Rainbow Dash has her flaws. It's understandable. Every great character has flaws. I totally understand that. If you look at episodes like Rainbow Falls, or Mysterious Ne'er-Do-Well, or how she acted in Rainbow Rocks, you have to understand, though, this is a good thing. It's a good thing to be flawed, because that way you're going to figure out what works and what doesn't work with you, what you like and don't like about yourself, what you think is good and what you think is bad, what you need to work on and improve. That's a good thing. You can't be a perfect character. If you're perfect, there's no room for improvement. If there's no room for improvement, you're going to become stale. You're going to become not interesting, and that's important as to why Rainbow Dash has developed. Look at episodes like, say, Read It and Weep, for example, how she developed further as a character when she looked at books, when she looked at how exactly they were bad, I guess, because it was for eggheads or for nerds, but then you start to realize that really wasn't the big deal. It wasn't a big deal in the end with her character. You see that, I guess in some way, she was afraid of losing a bit of coolness or whatever. There's that cool stereotype that you have to go with, and you can't always be that. So she broke out of it. She broke out of that stereotype. And that is important. If Rainbow Dash was not flawed in some way, she'd be considered a Mary Sue. She would be considered this awesome, unstoppable, unbeatable, too cool for school kind of character. And that would have got stale really quickly. Because as cool as that is, and as cool as you like to see it, you have to admit, after a while, there really wouldn't be much to do with her. They'd run out of things to do, and nobody would care. But it's a good reason to be flawed. There's actually, I guess some people are obsessed with their flaws and think that it's not a good thing to be flawed. But I have to assure you guys, if you're flawed, it's not the end of the world. With Rainbow Dash, with her flaws, it makes her better because she can develop further off of it. She has more to work with. And you see this in future episodes, like, say, Testing, 1, 2, 3. That's a good example right there. How she breaks out from her study habits. And we see her do good because of it. She develops further. That's important. But probably the most important development that I think I saw with Rainbow Dash that made me fully accept her as a character is Wonderbolt's Academy. Wonderbolt's Academy took what she had been striving for the entire show and confronted her. It made her realize what exactly she was shooting for and what she really wanted. It made her think about what she wants to do, and a lot of the characters have hit that. Like most recently, Rarity hit that with Candlelight Boutique, wondering, okay, is this what I've really wanted? I've been driving for this, and I've been shooting for this. Is this really what I want? When Rainbow Dash hit that moment, she thought, okay, maybe I need to rethink some things. And that's good, because your original plan is not always going to work. There's always going to be problems, like Lightning does, for example. But regardless, this is why I like Rainbow Dash in this episode, because it made her think. It made her realize what she wanted to do. And of course, the show has touched up on this later. We see bits and pieces, but I guarantee you that by the end of this, Rainbow Dash will be a Wonderbolt. And I think when she finally gets to that, when she realizes what she wants most in life is to be that, to be the best, then I think she'll get it. That's the final reason why I like Rainbow Dash. Because she is an inspiration to me. She is my inspiration to be confident. She is my inspiration to be the best at what I can be. Like no one ever was, or something like that. But it's a good thing. Because I look at Rainbow Dash and I see bits and pieces of myself. I see that I've grown up with her, and she's changed as well as I've changed, and she's done a lot of good stuff in my life. She has made me look at some things about myself, embrace the flaws, and see that it's not the end of the world if you have flaws. I know I say that over and over again, guys, but it's important to know that. And with it being the special day for Rainbow Dash, honestly, I can't thank her as a character enough. Getting to meet Ashley Ball at BabsCon 2014 was a feeling that when I got to thank her, I guess, for what she did for the character, you know, that was something special, I thought. Not many characters can have an important impact on my life like Rainbow Dash. And with it being the appreciation day for her, with I guess, how far she's come and everything, I think that's really great. I think it's great that she's developing, and I think she can only go higher from here. Just like me. So that brings us to the end of this video. To everyone who submitted fan art, you guys are awesome. I was not expecting so many people to do this. I thought, people are thinking ToonKritic is just gonna go for like the horse fame stuff. Ooh, he thinks he's so cool. Well, that wasn't the point of this. I wanted to show your guys' art. I wanted this to be an experiment, and I would say it was a success. So, for those watching, please put down in the comments what your thoughts on Rainbow Dash are as a character, favorite episode, really anything you want to put down about her. Like, comment, subscribe, Twitter, Patreon, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I'm really happy that I got to do this. And with that being said, I'm the Toon Critic, keeping you totally tuned for your entertainment. Forever and always, stay awesome.